wheels, and does this meet the criteria? We're about to find out. So the Alfa Romeo 4C, the most affordable supercar ever. Now, what do we mean when we talk supercars? Well, supercars are mystic creatures that stalk the back roads. They inhabit our hearts, they inhabit our minds, and they're what we find on posters in our walls. And does this meet the criteria? We're about to find out. My first video when I collected this car, the first impressions that this 4C gave me were incredible. Now let's talk about the performance and particularly what it's like to drive. Now this car will do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. The car is running 240 horsepower and produces 350 Newton meters of torque. But the thing that really impresses me more about this car than anything is the fact that all that torque kicks in at just 2,200 RPM. Now, 240 horsepower in this car, it may not seem like a lot of power, but the whole car is derived from carbon fibre. The monocoque tub is made completely out of carbon fibre, which results in this car weighing just under a ton. What you get with the 4C is a 6-speed dual clutch transmission which changes gears very quickly, and the pops that you get on the upshifts are just incredible. You don't get that on the downshifts, but the upshifts are insane.
Let's talk about the DNA driving system. DNA, which stands for Dynamic, Natural and All-Weather Mode. In the 4C's case, it also supports a race mode. Now, the first one we're going to look at is the Natural mode, which is effectively for all-round driving. It gives a great driving setup, and it also provides a better fuel efficiency and is best for all neutral surfaces. The all-weather mode is set for when the roads turn slippery. This setting communicates with a lot more of the component parts of the car, ensuring a more proactive anti-slip. Now moving on to dynamic mode, this makes the car a lot more responsive. It gives direct control to the steering back to the driver. The engine and brakes are also more reactive, and the traction control allows for a little bit more slip, although it remains engaged. The final mode which is available on the Alfa 4C is the race mode option. This is engaged by holding the dynamic mode button up for 5 seconds, and once engaged it completely removes the traction control and makes the driver have full control of the car by minimizing all electric systems. Launch control is activated when in race mode by holding down the brake pedal and the accelerator simultaneously. The car will rev and hold to about 3000 RPM, release the brake, and you launch the car. We'll provide a separate video on this to follow shortly.
This car is a driver's car. The connection that the driver has with this car is very impressive. You do need to really be concentrating when you're driving the car. You have to make sure that you are constantly in focus with what the car is trying to do. The steering on this car itself is very directive, but the whole overall driving experience with this car makes the driver fully feel like they're in control. And it's quick. We talked about 240 not really being that much power, and really when you look at supercars nowadays, they come with a lot more power. But this car, because it's so light, it gives you everything that you want from a supercar. The looks, the performance, the handling, it's just incredible. Now let's talk about the handling a little bit more. The handling specifically on the 4C, in my opinion, is great. You feel like you're driving a go-kart, and some of the criticisms that some of the older models got was particularly around the steering. Now Alfa have addressed the majority of that, but what you'll find is that on a track, this is perfect. On roads here in the UK, if the roads are perfect surface, again, you're fine. The challenges come when you're finding roads that have adverse camber or potholes. The steering still does try to pull you a bit. But the overall driving experience on this car is impressive. I think Alfa have absolutely nailed it. The smiles I get from driving this car, I don't get from many other cars. Now, the 4C itself, as you can probably tell, is relatively loud, and you can hear that noise from within the cabin. Some people may find that a little bit distracting, or they may not love it, but I think when you buy this car, and I've talked about it in my first video, I'm talking about it now, it's all about a driver's car, and you want to feel involved, and the noise and the sounds from within the cabin are just incredible, and they definitely help you connect closer to the car. Now, obviously the engine is behind me. It's a 1.75 litre engine, which obviously produces the 240 we just talked about, but because it's directly behind you, it makes for sounds like this. And the turbo flutter that you hear right behind your ears is absolutely incredible. And noises and sounds and speed and performance, that's exactly what Alfa have tried to get from the Alfa 4C. And have they delivered? I definitely think so. I think this is everything you want from a performance sports car. Whether it's a supercar, I would say it is, because it ticks off all the characteristics of a supercar. People may argue that, but I love this car. Absolute pleasure to drive. Well done, Alfa. Guys, my name's been Steph. You guys have been awesome. Hit subscribe, make me happy. Of course, I'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.